So, adding some more to my backstory, this right here, I'm going to say that I have always, as far as I can remember as being a teenager, since the age is, I'm going to say about 15, 16 years old, I have always been interested in astrology, birth charts. Actually, when I was like about 15 years old or so, I actually picked up a book called Sun Signs that my mother was reading, and I took an interest in it then. The book was called Sun Signs, yeah, and I took an interest in astrology, zodiacs, and uh, birth charts when I was about 15 years old. I think I really got deep into zodiacs and astrology, and I'm really going to say birth charts when I was about 30 years old. Even though as a teenager, I kind of was interested in it. I didn't go full fledged into it because, of course, blah blah blah. I grew up in a Christian home. We really couldn't explore those kind of things in depth because it would lead into other things. But so on, I still knew that there was a little bit more to it, so I was interested in it. But I think that it was about the age of 30 when I really stepped into my in-depth research with birth charts, and not just birth charts. I moved into something called human design. Human design is a deeper level, or should I say another level of understanding astrology and birth charts. It kind of blends a couple of things together, as far as like, you know, your chakras and different things. If you want to find out more about human design, you can go ahead and Google it. There's a lot of information out there, but yes. And so I'm gonna just put this in here too. I was a licensed massage therapist for 21 years too. I got my licensing when I was about like 27 years old as a massage therapist. So yeah, that helped me to kind of go into the whole aspect of really, really, really getting into astrology and charts. So back on track to where I was at. So for me, about 30 years old, actually, I was working with a client at the time, and the client, actually, she's the one that introduced me to the different levels. What the top three of your birth chart? She asked me, well, do you know your rising sign? And at the time when she asked me about a rising sign, I didn't know what a rising sign was, so I definitely went down the rabbit hole, found out what a rising sign was, found out more about myself. Then I found out not just my rising sign, I found out my moon sign. So now I understood that I had a sun sign, I had a moon sign, I had a rising sign. Not just that, but I have a whole chart, uh, a whole big makeup of myself. And this was like, wow, okay. So it helped me understand myself so much more, especially with coming from my childhood that I came from, not really knowing myself, being told that I was really weird. So I just really wanted to understand like where it was all coming from. So now having this birth chart, my astrological chart there, I feel like a light flipped on for me. I was just like, this is my map. This is my map. I know who I am now. It helped me understand more of who I was. It was a little bit later that I found out about human design. I found out about human design as I was reading more about my astrology chart, my birth chart, my natal chart. And so then in one of the things that I was reading, they explained that, okay, I may be, because I felt that I was so different, I was so weird, that I may be a human design manifestor. So honestly, no. It wasn't a human design manifestor at first. Actually, it was a human design projector at first. Okay, so something suggested to me that I may be a human design projector because I was so different in the way that I did things in life. So I went from there to research and find out what human design was all about, and to find out actually what my human design was. Um, in that research, I did find out that I was actually not a human design projector, but I was a human design manifester, a pure manifester. I'm going to let you go and look out deep into that and find out the difference between the two of them. But for a human design manifester, we have a totally different life that we're supposed to live than the majority. The majority of people that are here, you guys are generators, human design generators. You are also not just generators, but you are manifesting generators too. So I am about just maybe like 70%. You guys are more 90%. So I am more the one of the ones that really just don't have all the external energy. So that was one of the biggest things when I found out that I was a human design manifestor and I did not have, or my energy cycle was not created the same as others, and my life path was totally different than many others. That explains so much more to me why it was so hard to keep up with everyone else when it came to the rat race of life. Um, so that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind too, because this is part of my prelude to me actually getting diagnosed. Um, when I found out that I was a human design manifester, it helped me understand why things seem so hard to me that most people were just naturally able to do, but other things that I can naturally do, other people could not do. So that's one thing that kind of took place into my diagnosis, the prelude of my diagnosis. So